Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson. I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankest from the
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to History is Dank, dude. I'm your host, Strider Wilson, dude. We got Aaron going absolutely beast mode on the sticks, dude. What up, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, I'm freaking pumped right now, dude. You know, I'm feeling successful, dude. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I haven't seen, when I'm walking around my neighborhood, an unrequested dink. When you're walking, you know, a lot of people say, hey, how do I define success? Do I own a boat? Does my wife have big, fat, fake jubblies? Can I do 100 pull-ups? Can I tantrically get my hog up when needed on command as I age? Maybe those might be signs of success. For me, in every street I've lived on up until this point, I was seeing a new dick every day. Sometimes a reoccurring dick just from the same dude. Just out when I'm walking my dog. So if you live in a neighborhood where you are walking, if people speed walk in your neighborhood, you live in a nice neighborhood. And they're not speed walking from something.
Yeah.
If they're speed walking in one of those little weighted vests, that's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
If they're speed walking away from a guy with his exposed weenie, then you live in one of my former neighborhoods.
Yeah, I don't know where my wife was, but I was talking to her on the phone. She's like, yeah, and there's a guy just peeing right in
Yes,
front of me.
that's what I'm saying. I would see that. And can I go full confession? I had to pull over and pee. I had to pee so bad coming across town with such bad traffic from Santa Monica all the way back to Atwater.
Oof.
And the LA River's right there. I thought about going down into like the LA River area, but it was actually a little bit sketch.
Yeah.
So I was peeing, being like, oh yeah, it's the LA River. And then a family of people go by on bicycles. And my back was to them. And it was midstream and I had to go so bad. And I couldn't cork. I just had to turn and just literally put my head down in shame. And the family just rode by. I was like, oh dear God. Oh God. I was like, no one uses the bike trail here. No one's going to be there. And I looked around and I was like, oh, I'd see someone walking up in distance, right?
Yeah.
I even did that before. But bikes move faster. They can approach from farther away. I didn't do a full bike check.
You couldn't go like, what is that over there? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Enjoying the view.
Whoa, shooting star during the middle of the day. So just feeling successful because I haven't seen an unrequested dink in some time.
Yeah. I haven't seen one since I took the train to an Angel game.
Oh, you're going to see a dink on the train.
And then coming back, late at night on the subway.
Yep.
Homeless guy was jerking off.
Yep.
Only I could see it, which was great for me.
And I kind of get it. You might say to yourself, hey, why jerk off on the train? Some other places you could do it. It's a little bit more of a thrill to be going, 80 miles an hour, cranking hog.
Sure.
In the past, you couldn't do that hundreds of years ago.
No.
Maybe 100 years ago there was trains, 200 years ago. Sometimes people want to crank on a plane. You're at 30,000 feet in a tin tube. I never have either. But some people like that.
Yeah.
It's also gross on a commercial plane like that. The bathrooms are just inherently nasty. Little germ tubes.
Yeah.
But
international flight though. Big bathroom.
International flight, you kind of have somewhere you can lay down on your back.
If you want privacy though, the bathrooms are larger.
Yeah.
At least on an Airbus A380.
Hell yeah.
I cannot recommend enough.
I'm all about a DC 110.
You're in the military.
Yeah, dude. I'm all about a C-134 cargo jet. So, sort of talking these tail numbers or airplane craft models gets me into what we're going to be talking about today, and that's numbers. Today, we're talking equations, and yes, your eyes do not deceive you. It's a Dank Off.
Wow.
We're doing a Dank Off. It's been a minute. I felt like this was the best way to approach equations because,
Sure.
Look, I'm going to admit it, and I can happily say this. And, a lot of listeners out there, besides a select few and Danktorians, I know you guys have big gnomes, big brains. Understanding the intricacies of these equations is very difficult. And these are also, we're going to pull up a few images here. So if you're listening, I'll do my best to explain it, but also you can always check out the YouTube later if you want to check out the equation. These have been boiled down and in an expressive form or a theorem for the layman to understand and learn from. We're going to get into an equation. I don't want to even burn one right now. Maybe I'll burn one just for example, fat shout out to, because this one didn't make our list of 5 that we're going to be going through. But the, where do I have it? Man, these notes are pretty fat today because I have to be able to talk. The Navier-Stokes equation. Just had to bring that up, dude. It's a differential equation. We're going to be talking about calculus there. It describes the behavior of flowing fluids, dude. The Navier-Stokes
like
equation.
You were doing on that bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
I assumed on the bridge, but
bro,
maybe just the path.
I wish it was the bridge. I was looking up towards the bridge.
Yeah.
Peeing off a bridge is a very nice thing to do. Cranking hog off a bridge, even better.
I was worried you were going to do like a Dave Matthews Band to this family. They're going by underneath, and you hit them.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that story. And then I had to get him tickets to Bros Before Joe's. Sorry, dude, your whole family can come out to Bros Before Joe's and listen to Kevin sing about his dick. It describes the flowing of fluids, water moving through a pipe, vaping. If your boy takes a fat rip in his plume, Navier-Stokes equation can sort of interpret the flow of that cloud of vapor, dude. It's approximate solutions, okay? Computers simulate fluid motion fairly well. It helps us, describe, hey, when a spillway is going to come or flood levels in the city of Houston or whatever, they use this Navier-Stokes equation. So there's still not an exact solution. They say in this article, if you can find an exact solution and construct mathematically the flow of fluid and be able to interpret that and predict, you would be a millionaire instantly. So stay in math class, kids. Now, before we get into some equations, but my grand point was I wanted to say, when speaking of that equation, I didn't even pull up the image of that one. My bad. Look, we're off to a shaky start. I haven't seen an exposed wiener in a while. A family saw me peeing on the side of the highway. It was bad.
Oh, I had to go during my softball game, before my softball game. I didn't want to run all the way back to the bathroom. And it's kind of dark and there's trees between these two fields. And I was just you
go behind a tree.
Doing the math. It's not that many trees though. There's they line the sidewalk.
Oh,
the walking path, but the walking path goes nowhere, so no one's there. But it's between two fields where teams were warming up, and I was like, there is just no spot there where I'm not visibly peeing.
They would know.
Behind the bleachers, staring at my own field, no one would see me. No one would see my dink, but they would see me.
And they would know.
So
posturing.
It's I just held it.
Damn.
I just held it for the entire game, and I was fine.
Damn. Did it make you play with a sense of urgency?
No, honestly, I played as though I had no heartbeat. It was pretty nuts. We were playing the best pitcher in the league, and I gave him such tough at bats. It was pretty gnarly.
I fucking like that, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to harness that power. People talk about harnessing your chi. What about harnessing your pee? That'll help you out.
Yeah. can.
You know, that's a nice quote that I just said right there, and it brings me into my first segment, which is, who said it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get this right,
Mm-hmm.
I will let you golden shower me. I don't know if you want to do that.
No, not into it.
But I would let you.
Okay, well, I appreciate the offer.
The offer would be on the table through the fiscal year. Then it does expire. But that's only
if I get on the first one.
if you get this.
Yeah.
If you get this, I'd be very impressed.
Okay.
Few hints. I'm going thematic here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lady. Okay? I'm going to give you that hint.
All right.
That's how hard I think this is.
Hidden Figures.
Bro.
I don't know.
I'm going to bring up Hidden Figures in a little bit.
Sure.
I was just briefly, I'm going to bring it up, but cause for our next segment, I love where your dome's at. Okay, so here we go. And I quote, reserve your right to think, for even to think wrongly is better than to not think at all.
One more time?
Kind of disagree with that. Reserve your right to think, for even to think wrongly is better than to not think at all.
I see where it's getting at. I don't feel it. Yeah, it doesn't quite cover it all, but yeah. I do not have a guess for who this is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You can still golden shower me if you get this.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ignorance is the root of all evil.
God knows I've heard this and maybe said it. It's a lady mathematician.
That's correct.
God, that's why I just said Hidden Figures. I can't even think of a lady mathematician.
I'm going to give you an even bigger hint. An ancient lady mathematician. Maybe not fully ancient, but a long ass time ago. I kind of consider it ancient to be BC, and she's AD. Here's another hint. She was, she attained the position of like the head of education in the Library of Alexandria, the university there.
Mm-hmm.
Life is an unfoldment, and the further we travel, the more truth we can comprehend.
I got nothing, man.
There's no way. Fables should be taught as fables, myths as myths, and miracle as poetic fantasies.
I like where her head's at, but yeah, I don't know who this is.
I'll give you one more just in case there's any listeners that might know it.
That's got to be pretty controversial back then.
Bro, I'm loving what you're saying.
I mean, it's pre-Bible, but still.
No. This is...
Oh, she's AD. That's right.
This is 80. This is 400 AD.
So this is Bible time.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Aaron, can I tell you right now? This is Hypatia, Hypatia.
Mm-hmm. Was she burned at the stake, or?
She was murdered. She was killed.
Yeah.
I want to say no. She wasn't burned. I want to say she was. Maybe one of her fellow colleagues was hit by a stone in the head. But she is also a great example, and I just figured this out through research, or picked this up on this research through research, was there is a heavy theme and a heavy correlation between mathematics and religion. And you wouldn't think it, but people were threatened by these truths because it was science, and this was the beginning of this idea of explaining the universe, you know what I mean? And a lot of these equations, and we'll get into a few more, when you put an equation to something, or you describe it with science and physical phenomena, you use physics, chemistry, these terms, a lot of religious people, especially religious zealots, take that as a threat to, especially to their power, because the universe prior to these points was just described through mythical, sort of heavenly bodies and divine action. We'll get more into that when I bring up some more equations. Also, where she was in Alexandria was a hotbed. It was a religious crossroads there in Egypt. You had mainly, you had Christian, you had pagan. She was Greek, so she's what the Christians would call a pagan. She, her gods were the Greek gods, and honestly, she wasn't really even that religious. She would
sounds that way.
Yeah, she wasn't at all. There's another quote that she had, I forget, where she's like, all dogmatic religion needs to be taken like with like a heavy grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like you need to realize there are, and yeah, she ended up getting killed. But she was huge.
Things never change.
Right. I know. I know. Dude, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like we're going to get into some more examples. Like you had, you know, Galileo Galilei, the astronomer. Look at him. He was a threat to the religious institutions of his day. So this is going to be a theme that we're going to explore. And I wanted to also pick Hypatia in the beginning because our list and our equations is all dudes. So I wanted to give a fat shout out to a lady to start.
Sure.
And
like it.
There was when she was there in 480, she was the #1 mathematician in the world and the head of education and was like the smartest person in the world. Also, she was celibate. Also, she was a smoke show.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty legit. So there was probably a lot of sexually frustrated dudes.
Yeah.
That were like, she just has to die.
She's like when a hot actress plays a scientist in a movie.
Yeah.
Like Denise Richards.
Yes.
In the Bond film.
Yes.
She's a nuclear physicist.
Mm-hmm.
Or Elizabeth Shue in The Saint.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe Elizabeth Shue more than I believe Denise Richards.
Yes. 100%.
Maybe that's because of the writing, maybe the performance, I don't know. But yeah, imagine Hypatia as Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
What up?
I'd like to.
Dude, what up?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So.
And not to mention, not only was she killed, the entire Library of Alexandria gone.
Yeah, burnt down. They say that was accidental. I don't know. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Yeah, tragic. All that knowledge that was stored there. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment here. Now I wanted to recast it. And I was on IMDb and I just put in, we got to do a movie about a genius.
Sure.
First one that popped in my mind was Good Will Hunting. You can't recast that.
No.
I think it's unrecastable.
Yeah.
It's just, those dudes wrote it. It's fire. I can't even touch it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe, that's my boy. And I was like, okay, let's go a little bit farther back here. Let's do some physics. And you know what movie popped into my dome? October Sky. You ever see that?
Never saw it.
It's young Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mm-hmm.
He plays, it's based on this guy, Homer H. Hickam Jr. He's a coal miner's son. His dad is Chris Cooper. Mm-hmm. And he's telling him, look, son, we live in West Virginia. This rocket stuff of yours, it's all fun and great, and you're a young kid. But as soon as you graduate high school, you're working in the mines because you got to contribute to the family. You need a job. And you're going to get black lung, and life is going to be disappointing, but you're going to make money. You're going to have missionary-style sex with your wife every once in a while and meatloaf on Sundays, and that's about it. Then you're going to watch the fucking whatever football team they cheer for in West Virginia.
Sounds
Commanders.
Great. Or Steelers.
Maybe the Steelers, maybe. It's going to be, they're going to run the ball. You're going to yell at the TV, and you're going to say defense and run the ball, and that's going to be your life. You're going to hate flashy offensive players. You're going to hate TD celebrations.
Blech.
So, and Homer said, you know what, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. No, and his teacher, Laura Dern, who, I don't know if it was screenwriting or maybe in real life, had like terminally ill cancer, and she was like the only lady that liked him. So you're like, damn, dude, the one lady who could like maybe talk to the dad is dying. You're like, fuck. But then who knows? The dad wouldn't have listened anyway. But
well, she definitely didn't have terminal cancer in real life because she's alive.
No, not Laura Dern. No, the character,
oh,
whatever. The teacher based on her.
Yeah.
Might have. Dude, her acting was so good. Dude, Daniel Day-Lewis needs to play a dude with terminally ill cancer and get it, dude, and then just die during a role.
He probably will.
Yeah.
Probably write that movie.
Yeah. Or his kid, dude. I was stoked Daniel Day-Lewis, coming out of retirement again, was doing another movie. I was like, oh, PTA, and then it's directed by his son.
Yeah.
Never saw it, don't know, but always a risk.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen Frankenstein?
Mm-hmm.
Guillermo del Toro?
I enjoyed it.
Fucking love it.
It was awesome.
It's so good.
It's long. It took me a while to get through it, but dude, I really felt for the creature.
Yep.
Like
great.
I didn't even know that was Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
He did a good job. Could have been any dude. I'm like, they probably could have saved on their budget. Just pay a tall dude.
It was.
Pay a tall dude who goes to clowning school to be the monster.
Last minute. It was supposed to be Andrew Garfield.
Oh, whoa.
And he dropped out.
didn't want to be putting all that makeup.
Probably didn't want to put in 10, 12 hours of makeup. Yeah.
Rough. The monster looks cool. Guillermo del Toro always does a good job with that.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac's a great actor, man.
His accent at the beginning is tough.
Yeah.
But then you get into it. It's fine.
Love Charles Dance, the dad, absolute beast in the beginning. Love him, can do no wrong.
Mia Goth was great. Yeah.
This is like totally her tone.
Mads Mikkelsen's brother is the boat captain.
Oh shit! Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. It's great. I wouldn't be shocked if it got Best Picture noms and won.
Yeah. Visually striking, and the Frankenstein story is a good story. Like there, obviously, there's some different stuff is different in this.
Mm-hmm.
I won't give away any spoilers. It's not exactly how it is, but it's a cool rendition of Frankenstein. I like it. Mm-hmm. And when they get to the creature story,
Christoph Waltz.
Oh, dude. I mean, he's doing his waltz thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. But it works, and he's great for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
He nails it. But this is me being a peculiar man. I'm a peculiar man again.
Still charming.
But he fucking nails it. No, he really does. He really, really does.
Yeah.
Visually so cool, too.
Yeah. It's definitely going to win all those.
I like how they handled the It's Alive moment, too. Subtle.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Understated.
Well, in the book, they don't even show it, or they don't even talk about it. It just happens.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's the biggest part of any adaptation.
True.
Yeah, it's
True.
crazy.
It's alive. It's alive.
Anyway, sorry to digress.
No, I freaking loved it, dude. That's kind of what we do. That Frankenstein is they've taken an age-old story in a movie that's been made, and then they've remade it better. I think with October Sky, it's a movie that will never get remade, but it's great because this was the young up-and-coming actors. My boy Chad Lindbergh's in there. That's the mad scientist. We did a Fast and the Furious movie quote video with him. He's in this movie. Legit, the Shermanator's in this movie as Homer's friend. He has a great line where he says, "Prodigious." And it's just nerds running around being excited about stuff. It's a really good... You know what it is? It's the best... I would say it's the second best movie for a substitute teacher to put on. Number one being Rudy. Teacher comes in, pops in Rudy.
I just saw for the first time a month ago.
Yeah, Rudy's a good movie, underdog story. The kid's got to study hard, he's got to work hard, he's got ambition. It pays off in the end. It's a good substitute teacher movie. I would say October Sky, arguably better, but the entertainment value of Rudy just being football and stuff is maybe a little bit better. But also, similar stories. Rudy's going to have to go work in a steel mill. This guy's going to have to go work in a coal mine.
Yeah.
So who do you put in as a young... Gyllenhaal's the big recast here.
Yeah.
And he's not a star yet.
No.
This might have even been his first role. Maybe, obviously he probably had a smaller role before this, but this was a big breakout.
He's been around since he was a kid.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the first thing he's in.
But this rips. Chad Lindbergh stays. Who do you put as Chris Cooper, the tough dad?
This is like probably right around the time of American Beauty too.
Mm-hmm. It's 1999 when this movie came out.
Yep, so it's same year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like who would be not, because it's got to be somewhat redeemable. You don't want to be like, I'm thinking like Michael Rooker, but he'd be like too insane
as the dad
and too old at this point.
Yeah. Like the dad, he's coming from a place of like he loves his son, but he's like, you need to be practical. It's like classic dad shit.
Let's do Matt Damon. Let's throw Matt Damon in there as the dad now.
He could do it.
He's
he
about
can do
the
anything.
age now where he could have a. Well, obviously, he probably does have a kid. Gyllenhaal's age or older at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he could pull that off
easily. Our boy Damon could. And then who's a kid who can play like a young, charming kid, excited, a little wide-eyed.
Obviously, Tom Holland, but he's too old. He's too old now, but he still looks young.
He's got to play a high school senior.
Yeah. That's.
But Tom Holland would be good a few years ago for sure.
I gotta think of.
Tom Holland would ride the rocket, dude. This guy's a freaking beast.
Can we switch genders?
Sure.
We
I
make
mean, it
a
wouldn't be
girl?
based on the Homer guy, but, we can take artistic
We call
license
her
here.
Homera.
Yeah. We call her Hypatia, dude.
There you go. I don't even think. No, I was thinking like Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, but
Yeah, she's
Arya
good.
Stark, but she's probably too old now. I haven't seen her in a minute.
Yeah, she'd be too old now. I was almost thinking of the blonde girl in the new Game of Thrones series. She could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, the one who plays the young dragon queen.
Dude, we just make it all babes. Anna de Armas, Sydney Sweeney, Gal Gadot's the teacher, dude. The dad is just, it's two MILFs, dude. You get two crossover performers, dude. Two MILFs are his parents, dude. The coal mine is all just smoke shows, dude. And then you put in a scene that you had to take from the HBO hit series Chernobyl when the miners had to be naked because it's all hot in there. Yeah, we gotta have a scene like that. Dude, I think that's exactly how we have to recast this movie.
Yeah.
Fucking dude. It's a good call. And then they're just launching rockets, dude. Sort of a symbol, phallic symbol there, dude. I think it works on a metaphorical level too. Freaking Megan Fox is in there too, dude. She's working at like the steel mill.
Yeah.
She like helps Homer do like the borated cylinder so the rocket doesn't explode, so the gases can release gradually to create proper flight. So I think that she'd probably be good at doing that. It's in West Virginia in the middle of the winter. Everyone's in bikinis though.
Yeah.
Probably a good call. See, we cracked it again. We always come to it. All right, guys.
We recast the location, Miami Beach.
That's a good call. It's got to probably take... Honestly, dude, let's update and modernize it. Where do they launch rockets from? Cape Canaveral. Let's go to Florida. Let's go to Daytona. It's spring break. And this guy's really obsessed with rockets on spring break, and his friends, the other chicks really want to party, but she's obsessed with rockets. So I think that's a good call. That's a great script. Friggin' Jake Gyllenhaal's just friggin' becomes Sydney Sweeney, dude. Friggin' Margaret Qualley's in there, dude. Who's the girl from Dune, dude? Lady Jessica? She's got to be one of the moms, dude, for sure.
Zendaya? No.
Nah.
No, the one from Mission Impossible? Rebecca Ferguson?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, she...
Oh, yeah. All right. We're having a dank off. Now, when I said equations, I imagine you guys listening in the audience, you guys all have a high school education. Maybe you don't. If you don't, that's fine. You've listened to enough History is Dank where you now have a master's in dankness. The first equation, properly called a theorem, that popped into my head was the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Feast your eyes on that. Now, this is a foundational theorem for understanding geometry. It describes the relationship between sides of a right triangle or a flat plane, square, the lengths of the short sides, A and B, add those together, and you get the square, the length of the long side, C. Pythagoras is credited with, and there's some mystery here and some debate. He's credited, and it's named after Pythagoras in 530 BC. So this is an ancient formula. However, there's evidence, when the pyramids were built and the Babylonians and their great structures, they understood this formula. And that was thousands of years before Pythagoras and before the Pythagorean school. And we're getting right into this idea of religion and math. The Pythagoreans, they were a cult, and they had all sorts of quote unquote esoteric knowledge that they didn't want to share. They claimed that through their math and through their methodologies, they could communicate with animals, predict earthquakes, stop the winds from blowing, stop the hail from falling, and calm the sea waves, and even remember past lives.
That's a lot.
So these are all claims that they made. Some of them outrageous, some of them kind of like, maybe a little bit. Like, I guess we do use equations to, I don't know if we can predict earthquakes, but we can size them and sort of interpret them. Pythagoras' student Hippasus, probably saying that wrong, Hippasus, he calculated the square root of 2, which was previously thought to be non-existent. In the process, he discovered a whole new numerical system called irrational numbers. This undermined the simplicity of the math system loved by the Pythagoreans. It also contained a seed that could destroy their worldview and their, like I just mentioned, their beliefs. So instead of exploring his discoveries, what do? They drowned him.
They burn him down.
Later, dude. Also, Pythagoras, he left behind no writings, which actually wasn't uncommon for these baller Greek dudes. They just had they had dudes that followed them around in a school that they would write for him. Like Homer was blind, he never wrote. Socrates, he never wrote anything. It was his school, the Socratic method. So it wasn't uncommon to have this sort of crazy cult following in Greek times.
Yeah, Plato wrote all of Socrates' stuff.
Yep. But does raise a little flag of okay, well, Pythagorean theorem, why is it him? It was probably it was best described by the Pythagorean school and not even Pythagoras himself. This a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that's their interpretation for the masses of humanity to understand, and that's why they get the credit for it. And it's a building block for architecture. It's a foundational formula for geometry, which we use in everything from shooting pool to peeing over a bridge and calculating the arch of that piss. So very legit. It create, did Pythagorean define it or describe it? I would say he described it the best. And that's kind of what a lot of these theorems and equations do. They describe it in a way that makes it, that helps others, build and push things forward. And when we get into weighing these equations, that's one thing that's going to, how do we describe what dank is and what equation is the dankest? What propels humanity to the dankest levels, the most legit, and furthest reaches of space, the understanding of space, and the understanding of, simple phenomenon right in front of us, which is so amazing. Being able to describe something quite so easy, which brings me to the next equation, the law of gravity. Something we're experiencing right now. Something we always experience. Newton's law, described by the force of gravity between two objects. F, okay, in terms of universal constant. G, the masses of the two objects, M1 and M2, the distance between the objects, R, and the distance between the objects is R, sorry. It's remarkable because it explains almost perfectly why the planets move in the way they do. It's universal in nature. It's not just how gravity works on Earth or in our solar system, but anywhere in the motherfucking universe. It's huge. Huge.
I still can't say that I understand it even slightly.
That's what's so hard about it. There's the thing of the apple falling on his head, and he asked the question. So it basically provided a single universal principle to explain the phenomena on Earth, like a falling object, the apple, right? Yeah. And in the heavens. It gave scientists the tools to accurately predict the motions of planets and other celestial bodies. Crucial advancement. Mm-hmm. It replaced other more complicated models. So it's simplified. That's huge. Simplification.
Sure.
Simplification in math. It created a foundation for space travel. I mean, I lisp. You can't not lisp when you talk about space and science. You don't get Homer without Newton, bro. Homer, of course, our dude from October Sky, now played by Sydney Sweeney. It understands how gravity diminishes the distance and to determine the precise maneuvers needed to reach the moon. You don't get Apollo 13, another Dank movie. This idea also, Aaron, and this theorem was the basis for enlightenment. The idea of a universe governed by physical laws rather than by arbitrary forces or divine beings.
Yeah, exactly.
It provided a powerful philosophical foundation for the Enlightenment. Math and philosophy go hand in hand. Math is the language of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And
I took philosophy math,
dude,
in college.
Yeah, it's dude. I love that. It fires me up. Did you freaking spark a fat J every time when you went to class?
No.
Missed out, dude. You could have had some epiphanies if you did that, dude.
Probably.
Could have thought of another equation, dude. So gravity's huge. Gravity's very Newton's law of gravity and his equation for it and his formula for it, very huge because he puts into physical terms and in using physics describing phenomena that we experience in our daily lives and in our day-to-day life. And it kind of opened, man was always obsessed with the cosmos and the heavenly beings, and this brought us a step closer to understanding how those objects work and that they move. Just knowing that they move is fire.
Yep.
Fire observation, dude. Being able to interpret at a deeper level an observation we all have, therein lies the genius of comedy, a feeling we all feel presented in a new and an interesting way, an experience we all observe, take in, whether we have choice in it or not, simplified and explained in a way that sparks curiosity, understanding, further question, and desire to understand in fellow man. Fat, huge, dank.
No formulas for that yet, though.
No.
As written down.
Exactly.
Get to
and
work
we need
on
these. We need these.
Get to work on the Dank Torrents.
Exactly. Guys,
Comedy formulas.
We need comedy formulas. UCB has some formulas. Same, different, change. Rule of 3. We're going to get to calculus here. We get a lot of controversy with calculus. Newton, 1668. Okay?
So he's got 2 on the list at least.
Does he? Because you can't talk calculus if you don't talk about my boy Leibniz, dude.
What?
We even use, if you pull up this image, this denotation here, that's Leibniz's denotation of calculus, even though Newton gets the credit. Newton was real high in with the British Royal Society, and he came at Leibniz saying, hey, bro, this is my stuff. Calculus is my thing. You didn't credit it. And he even had his friends at the Royal Society slander Leibniz, saying he stole stuff, even though Leibniz published his papers, which perfectly articulate, for an intelligent mind, calculus before Newton published anything on it. Now, Newton, according to my boy Carl Sagan, Newton was kind of ordinary and didn't really, he would not share things, or you'd have to really pull stuff out of him. So there is a world where Newton was working on this stuff prior to Leibniz, but he did not publish it before Leibniz did. Leibniz was first to publish.
Oh.
Newton claims, oh, you stole that from me. Leibniz is like, bro, I don't even live by you. The hell are you talking about?
I can tell you why Newton was ornery. Died a virgin.
Oh, bro.
You think Hypatia was celibate? Newton.
Yeah, what's with these mathematicians being celibate, dude?
Got no time.
True. Crunching numbers, dude.
Yeah.
No time to clap cheeks when you're crunching numbers, bro. Newton did pass papers around to colleagues of his with some, equations on there, some calculus styled equations, but said to be written in 1669. But a lot of this stuff about who gets credit didn't even happen until 1714, when the Royal Society does an investigation led by who? Newton. The fuck out of here, bro.
Go eat some figs, Newton.
That's exactly, bro. Exactly, bro.
I like that everybody who ever tussled with Newton could just say, "Get fucked,"
Yeah.
and mean it.
Yeah.
He'd probably be nicer. Get fucked.
Get fucked. Go fuck yourself. He goes, what do you think I've been doing? The formula that I brought up is the definition of a derivative in calculus, and that's sort of what calculus is. It describes, calculus describes objects in motion and change. The two big components of calculus, and I took this years ago, is there's derivatives and there's integrals.
This is why I didn't take calculus.
Dude, it was hard, man.
This is why I took philosophy of math.
Doing the derivatives, they're like kind of inverses of one another. It's basically like you're setting things equal to each other and solving, and like it's objects in motion at their extreme limit is what we deal with in calculus. Yeah. It describes like it's how we just think about economics. It's how we think about it. Helped me understand it more. Like you just use these functions and it's like change and this and that. It's like, what is that? Well, okay, if you think about velocity, acceleration, speed, it sort of makes it easier to think about and using like a practical model for it. A lot of times it's planets. Like if you think about velocity or speed as being the derivative of position, like you're walking 3 miles per hour, then every hour you have changed your position by 3 miles. Mm-hmm. Like that's a rudimentary understanding, and then this function describes that change, and just doing it, then you can, using the principles of this math, and that's a very simple thing to calculate for my simple brain is like, oh yeah, if I walk 3 miles per hour and then 1 hour I've gone 3 miles and my position has changed by 3 miles. Okay, but now how fast is the planet moving? Let's observe it, then let's calculate that, and then we can predict where it will be. And that's where you get the genius level shit. But it's all based on like this function of these freaking deltas, dude. Change, bro.
Now, when you're talking about moving planets,
mm-hmm.
I'd rather just think about this.
How did this get in here? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I mean, you have a very, it makes perfect sense that this got in here because, this is a very jacked couple. It looks like they exercise together and then drink espressos after they exercise together. Mm-hmm. And they're out here just understanding the cosmos, bonded with their hands saying, look, we're looking up and we're constantly wondering what is happening above us, but with the embraced hand below, never forgetting that it is love. That's maybe perhaps the most important thing mm-hmm. in this universe that we're currently observing. And I would like to observe this couple do a lot more. This is who I'd like to recast in October Sky, dude. I mean, you have a jacked bro, a very fit, I always say CrossFit, but I look like, she's definitely a spin instructor, definitely does probably HIIT workouts. It looks like this guy's really experienced with kettlebells. And they're looking up at the cosmos asking why. And, calculus will help them understand what's going on above. You could use you could describe their lovemaking style, which I would imagine is all standing up using calculus.
Yeah, rigorous.
Very rigorous, very robust equations to describe what's going on.
Is it weird? Last night I told a guy, it's Jack dude. He was in a tank top. It was a rainy night for softball.
Yeah?
It was literally raining. And I go, if I had arms like that, I wouldn't wear a shirt. I wouldn't wear sleeves either.
Yeah.
Should I have just kept that to myself? I had to repeat it to him.
No, that's why guys get jacked like that.
Okay.
That's what they're jacked for. And he goes, hell yeah.
He's like 6'5", jacked.
Yeah.
He's on the team that has no wins.
He's being wasted.
Yeah.
You need to recruit him.
Yeah.
Subtext to that statement was, hey, come play with us. You got to get him on your squad. It's important to have jacked dudes just hanging out.
I agree.
It's important. A lot of people think the vibe is set by like, a bottle service. It's attractive women. It's models hanging out. Like if your dugout was filled with models like these, people from this dank Boris Vallejo that snuck in here. I should have said that to my listeners earlier. I don't know how this got into my research, but it did.
They always seem to.
If you had these people just hanging out, like if they were just hanging out at a Little Caesars, I'd be like, I kind of want to chill here now. You know,
Eating,
what are they up to?
Facing like this,
holding pizza and letting it drop. That is kind of how you eat a hot slice of pizza. You know, you're going to probably attack it like that position that they're in, holding it up, looking up at it. And then the cheese would just fall right off because it's cardboard. And then the cheese is just, who the hell knows what it is that they use at Little Caesars. But I would hang out there if that couple was there. And you know, if you have hot dudes that are jacked and 6'5" on your team, even though they're not good, there's going to be an energy in the dugout, Aaron, that's tough to tap into. Okay, moving right along to our next equation, the logarithm. Okay, this shows...
Not to be confused with the algorithm.
Yeah, no. This is not your algo. This is not, hey, post twice a day, every day, 7 seconds, doesn't matter what it is, just feed the machine. No. This right here, until the development of digital computers, was the most common way to quickly multiply together large numbers. This would change addition and subtraction to multiplication and division. Huge, in a simple, effective way. Saved mathematicians tons of time when doing lengthy, long equations, especially those involving the cosmos. Discovered by our boy John Napier in 1610. This what you see is this log A, the sum of log A B equals log A plus log B. Shows that the most useful, yeah, I just said that. It founded the relationship between the distance remaining on the first path and the distance traveled on the second pass was a logarithm. This relationship showed that multiplying the numbers corresponding to particle 1's movement was equivalent to adding the corresponding values for particle 2's movement. And he makes it practical. That's huge for an equation, right? Discover it, interpret it, then make it practical. Often maybe the hardest part.
Yeah.
Spent years compiling the first tables of logarithms. For sines and cosines, you've probably seen those, took some higher level math courses, to make the process accessible. These tables allowed scientists to replace multiplication with simpler addition by looking up values. So not only did he provide the methodology to attain these values, he then created the tables where scientists could go, oh, I'm looking at this here, I need the log A, oh, okay, there, boom, there's my value. Moving right on. Made exploration and understanding of space a lot easier. Now computers do it instantly.
Yeah.
He sort of was a human calculator.
Yeah.
You could say Napier was the first human calculator. Kind of legit. Finally, for our final equation, and then we'll rank them quickly before we get out of here, is we'll have our Dank Off. You know it. E equals mc squared. Einstein's theory of relativity. You don't, without Newton's law of gravity, you don't get the theory of relativity. Relativity is kind of gravity on steroids. The classic equation, E equals mc squared, states that matter and energy are equivalent to each other. Einstein had this idea. He called it like his happy thought, where he was like, if you're falling, you're not experiencing gravity. And so, he put it in a sort of a practical understanding of, like, if you're in an elevator that's dropping at the same place, speed, everything's falling at the same rate, because Newton already discovered that. So you're not experiencing gravity in that moment. So what's happening? So he asked himself, what up? And came to a key realization. He called it special relativity could not be applied to gravity or to an object undergoing acceleration. Imagine someone inside a closed room sitting on Earth. The person can feel Earth's gravity field. Now put that same room out in space, far from the gravitational influence of any object, and give it an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second, same as Earth's gravitational acceleration. There would be no way for someone inside the room to distinguish whether they were feeling was gravity or just uniform acceleration. Now imagine jacking off in that space. I'd like you to imagine that. That's why guys jack off on trains. He wondered how light, this is why he's a genius. He wondered, you don't even think about how light is moving or traveling or gravity having an experience or having a force upon light. He goes, how would light behave in that room, falling? If one were to shine a flashlight across the room, the light would appear to bend downward, he theorized. Wow. This would happen because the floor of the room would be coming down. The floor of the room would be coming up to the light beam at an ever faster speed, so the floor would catch up with the light. Since gravity and acceleration are equivalent, light would then bend in a gravitational field. He found the correct mathematical equation to express those ideas. Took him years. Teamed up with a bro of his. What's this guy's name, dude? What's his bro's name that he teamed up with? Doesn't matter.
Was it? I wasn't paying that close attention to the movie. Was it Oppenheimer?
No, it wasn't. This was before Oppenheimer. Yeah, this was all in 1915, 19, and then in 1919, British expeditions went to Africa, South Africa, and South America, excuse me, to observe a total solar eclipse. Now, they were like, oh, we need to. Newton tried to prove this by like using Mercury or even another, thing that moves close to the sun that's not a planet or a fictitious planet to describe this phenomenon. Turns out these astronomers observing Mercury during a total solar eclipse to see if the positions of stars near the sun, had changed, that we observed close to the sun's field. There's no other star close to the sun, but observed how the effects change, how light would change during a total solar eclipse. I guess it just makes it easier to observe. Your eyes aren't getting blasted by the sun, whatever. What they observe was exactly what Einstein predicted in his theory of relativity.
Wow.
Einstein is instantly world famous. Without this relativity, you don't get black holes or expanding universe. These are two concepts rooted in general relativity. GPS satellites that we use today, if you want to use Find My Phone, you lose your phone. You got an AirTag for your shit. Military systems, GPS tracking, all this stuff does not work without Einstein's theory of relativity. So maybe we should quickly rank these things before we bone out of here. This is a Dank Off. Remember, let's just go in reverse order here. Relativity, logarithms, calculus, Leibniz and Newton. You got law of gravity and then Pythagorean theorem.
All right. Well, number 5, I think I'm going Pythagoras.
Yeah, because he's a bitch.
I'm just not measuring triangles that often, I get it's important.
It is huge. You can't have these other things without it, but yeah, I hear you.
I'm just not doing it.
I hear you. Only triangle I want to measure is a love triangle, dude.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Between me and my wife, actually, you know what? Just between my wife and those two lovers from Boris Vallejo's work. Yeah, I'd like to see my wife there. Okay, so I agree. I'm going Pythagoras 5 as well.
Yeah. Then I think I'm going to go logarithm.
I agree. It's just kind of boring. It's a calculation. People were able to do it. It was just more time consuming. It was huge for Napier to save people time. Mm-hmm. And it's friggin' legit to convert addition and subtraction, to division and multiplication and vice versa. But basically a calculator, Yeah. So yeah, I agree, but it's huge.
Yeah.
These are all huge. These are all top 5. These are all huge.
Then I'm going to go calculus.
See, I'm going to go gravity here.
Okay.
I'm going to go gravity here.
I feel like gravity's so fundamental. It's got to be a top 2.
It is.
Calculus, yeah. I
might be counting it as a fundamental just because it's relativity And, you know, we don't get Einstein's theory of relativity without the gravity, so it is the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like relativity just kind of, in the same vein, kind of just sort of body checks it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to go gravity 2, relativity 1.
I'm going to go relativity 2, and I'm going to go calculus number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because it's like, it does so much for physics. It works across so many industries besides, and you still use it in astronomy and stuff, but like you don't use gravity in economics. You don't use gravity in like running a business or anything like that. I mean, it's affecting you obviously. So there's that argument where it's like everything's affected by it. You know, when you pop wood, you're sort of defying gravity, you know?
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Nobody sings
from
that.
the movie Wicked.
Nobody sings that to me when I get wood. It's a shame.
Every time I pop a woody and I want to let my wife know I'm in the mood, I turn on that song from Wicked. And then that's how she knows. Because it's so tiny. I have to let her know in that regard. But yeah, dude, I'm going calculus number 1. It's very powerful stuff, you know. It describes objects in motion. Very legit.
Yeah, I just think gravity's super important, super interesting, invisible force.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're talking about Earth here, and then relativity expands to the universe.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. And we want to know how
That's
the
my
universe
logic.
works. And I think this is legit. And I think, you know, a lot of these theories, they bring into the question of the gods and the divine being. And a lot of people were persecuted in their time because of this stuff. You know what I mean? Even all the way up until Einstein's time. Even today. So.
Even then, he's still kind of relegated to like a college campus.
Yeah. Yeah. So very legit. What do you think? Is Joe here? Do we have time for a quick thank call?
He's here, yeah.
Shit.
He showed up early today for once.
He actually was on time? Shit, he's going to be
Early.
mad. He's going to be mad. All right, let me just see if I can just get... I'm just going to try to get Home Depot on the phone here. And if I can't, then we'll get out of here. Dude, my phone is blowing up with text messages. Maybe it's just...
Probably just Joe.
He's like, dude, hurry up.
Hey, get out of there.
Just sending me dick pics.
Oh, the
Thank
theme
you
song.
for calling the Burbank Home Depot.
Sickest
This call
bass
may be
riff ever.
recorded or used by Home Depot
Bam,
and
bam,
its
bam,
authorized
bam.
vendors.
It is
Tell
kinda
me
the
how I can
sickest.
help. You can say things like check product availability or what's my order status.
They got robots answering the phone.
Yeah, bro. But they still have like the old guy voice on there.
Yeah.
Customer service. Want to say thank you to you guys.
To
dude.
connect you to the right person, briefly describe what you're calling about.
Stoked. Fired up.
Sorry, I couldn't get that. To connect you to the right person, briefly describe what you're calling about.
Made me feel like a man.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that?
You made me feel more confident in myself.
I'll connect you with someone who can help.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Please wait while we
Oh, no,
transfer your
lady
call
robot.
to the next available representative.
He transferred me to a chick. Come on, dude.
I think talking to robots has been plenty, I think.
I think you might be right. All the experts are probably busy banging dudes' wives that don't know how to use tools in there.
Hi, thank you for holding. Burbank Home Depot, how can I help you?
Oh, what up? My name's Strider, and I just want to thank you guys. I was in there yesterday, and I was working with one of your experts in the wood cutting area, and his name was Frank. And I just wanted to thank him. I don't know if you want to pass along a message just for not dominating me in front of my wife, and because I don't know how to cut stuff, and I was afraid of the saw, for just like kind of being chill about that, and you know, not making my wife who was with me think that I wasn't a real man.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, sir. Did you get his name by any chance?
Oh no, I'm fired up. He did a good job. I'm saying he
Got it.
crushed it.
I apologize. I couldn't hear the first part. That's why.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, he did not dominate me in front of my wife. He was super chill. He even was honestly kind of fatherly. He started explaining how what the infield shift was to me while cutting the wood. So it was really a legit experience. So if you see Frank, just
awesome.
let him know.
You said it was Frank?
Yeah, super chill.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So yeah, just thankful for that. Just wanted to pass that along in this season of thanks right now. So fired up, and then I'm fired up on those I'm fired up on those new planks that we got. So they're going to keep the. I put them in my screen door, so in case someone breaks in, because I can't defend my home because I'm pretty weak, they can't get in through my screen doors. So that helped.
Good. I'm glad you had a pleasant experience here with us. Thank you for the feedback. We appreciate that.
Appreciate you. Appreciate Frank, and stay stoked.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Lit.
Bye-bye.
That's what's up, dude.
People are just always so caught off guard. Thank you.
Dude, they expect there to be an issue. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, I'm stoked. All right, we got to get the hell out of here. Joe's coming in. Guys, stay stoked. And guys, come up with some equations. Maybe send in an equation of stoke if you're listening. Email me. All right. Let